Okay, this is the final update for the day. It's just past the rollover period, 5 o'clock p.m. New York time. Actually, that took place just about 2 hours ago. I was watching the euro dollar here just to see if, maybe there would be some kind of a setup. I really don't think that this is going to be a clear bounce off of this psychological level. It could, maybe move 10, 15 pips, but we're going to stay away from that. So what we've been looking at first of all, sorry. So I want to make an announcement, first of all, before I forget, that these videos, these updated 5-minute videos, we're going to be posting them now on the YouTube channel and in the Facebook group as well. Not just the membership area, and then also sent out to you as an email, update. So so what I do, for those of you who are not too familiar with it inside the chat room, we trade during the regular trading sessions, and I review everything that I'm about to describe here in this video with you. You're going to see the same thing. I use my microphone, show my charts. But for those who are not in the chat room, or those who maybe are in the chat room half of the time and then miss the other half, I send out on a regular basis throughout the day, 5-minute update videos. And then I normally post them in the membership area, and I send them out as an email. What we're going to start doing now, though, is posting them in the Facebook group and in the YouTube channel. So if you are not a paid subscriber to the chat room, and you go to the Facebook page or you go to the YouTube channel, and I, for some reason, don't post the 5-minute update right away, these aren't intended for non-members to use them as trade signals. You you have to be aware that some of the information is going to end up being delayed because I'm very busy, I'm active, I'm trading during the day, I'm trading during the trading sessions. And inside of the chat room, it's also sort of a coaching session as well. You get to ask me a lot of questions. We do a lot of discussion and review about my trading strategies, what I think the market's doing, why. I get a lot of questions. So it is coaching inside of the chat room during those live trading sessions when we're not in a trade. And then whenever I take a trade, I break down the analysis and the reason behind the trades. So please be aware, this is just to make sure that everybody who is not a paid subscriber in the chat room, the updates that you see on the Facebook page and in the YouTube channel, they're not always going to be uploaded right away so that they're trade alerts. That's not what they're intended for. They're just so that you can get an idea of what we're doing in the chat room, and also another location for paid subscribers to go and find the information in the 5-minute updates. If they happen to be on YouTube, they can go to the YouTube channel. If they happen to be on Facebook, they can go to the Facebook page, or they can just simply open up their email and they'll have the 5-minute update video emailed straight to their inbox if they're a paid subscriber. Eurodollar 60-minute chart, still looking at the same range of consolidation. This is the beginning of the week. I'm not saying that there aren't any opportunities right now. To me, there aren't any more opportunities. One of the ways that, and I described this quite a bit inside the chat room, and we talk about this, because in the chat room, we could be sitting in here during the London session, and we're looking at this. And then every once in a while somebody will say, well, do you have any setups on the euro dollar? Do you have any setups on the euro dollar? Obviously, new members are going to ask that question, and I have no problem, talking about my trading strategies and reviewing it again. I've been doing it since 2007. That's when I opened up my first chat room. And but basically, I'll just review and repeat the same thing, which is what I'm going to say now, that the longer price remains inside of a really tight range of consolidation like this, in my opinion, the way I trade with my strategies, the less likely some of these signals, the less reliable they are. To me, it's a lot more risky to trade inside of consolidation like this because you get some bearish candles and then you get some bullish candles, and they end up really not going anywhere. And sometimes, depending on the stop that you use, let's say if you took a bearish candle like this, that pullback right there might be enough to stop you out. I don't know. I don't trade this. I don't trade like this. I don't scalp inside of consolidation. It's a lot easier, and I've proven this year after year to my subscribers. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to use the strategies that I use. And again, this is just the way that I trade. It's not the only way to trade. It's just the way that I trade. So the way I look at it, and my personal experience, along with my subscribers that join me in the chat room or my coaching students, we take fewer trades. Obviously, in a situation like this, we're going to take fewer trades. There are other currencies that may be giving us some signals, and we might be able to take some short-term trades there. But right here with the euro dollar, I don't really have any signals. So I'm getting fewer trade signals the longer price remains inside of this consolidation. And to me, that's perfectly acceptable. I cannot control the factors that are in place that are keeping price inside of this tight range of consolidation. We've got Jackson Hole at the end of Friday. We're expecting another speech and a comment from another Fed official. We can go all the way down the road, the list with Euro economic data, our interest rate cuts in the United States. Are they going to signal? There's so many different things that the market's waiting for. And again, just because the euro dollar isn't moving doesn't mean that some of the others won't move. They certainly can. They're different. They're going to react to different things that are going on in their own countries. But for this particular pair, and this is a good pair, right? This is a euro dollar. I trade this quite a bit. And in a normal market environment, I'm going to get more opportunities here on the euro dollar. So collectively over the course of a week, because the euro dollar would fire off a few extra trades for me, I could end up making 2, 3, 4, 500 pips in a week. Lately, I don't always get the opportunity to do that because, again, one of my primary currency pairs here isn't really giving me some solid opportunities. This was a continuation breakout trade the other day, last week. So at this point, we're just looking at price inside of consolidation. The longer it stays inside of that consolidation, as I said a moment ago, the better it is for me. And when that event, that particular, the catalyst that causes price to move, where the market reacts to it, and the market's reacting to a reevaluation in this currency pair, that breakout is something that I can identify with news, and then I can confirm it. Technically, I'm going to get the signal, and it should trend and go to the 55 pip target. Now, for those of you who are active subscribers in the chat room, I'm going to keep reminding everybody in these videos because sometimes I get subscribers to other services that I offer. Let's say, for example, the Trade Copier, and they'll watch a video like this, and they might say, "Well, I'm not getting the same results that you're claiming in the chat room." And there are obvious differences with the different level of service that you're going to get. A Trade Copier, one target, one lot. We don't scale out with the Trade Copier. I cannot do that with the chat room. You'll notice that there's two price targets there on the left. This is very similar to what we did yesterday on the pound dollar. I believe I made the video here on the pound dollar. We'll go to the pound dollar. So this is just a quick reminder for those of you who are interested in the service, but want to get an idea of what it is that I'm doing and how I do it and how we're able to earn and lock in profit. So I'm going to go to the pound dollar. There was a trade, and here was a continuation breakout trade yesterday. Now, it didn't hit the final target, but it hit the first target. So when I call out these trades like this, I'm showing my charts on the screen, and then I'm using my microphone. And as price is coming down to set up and confirm a signal, I review all of the steps that are necessary for confirmation. So in real time, if you're in the chat room with me, you're going to hear me thinking out loud the entire analysis and the confirmation of this particular trade and this setup. And then I tell you exactly where I'm getting in. And the reason I do that is that if you want to trade it with me, it is a trade alert. I let everybody know when I'm getting in, where I'm taking profits, where my stop loss is. So with a continuation breakout trade, normally in a normal market environment, and you're well aware, if you've been trading over the last month and a half now, you're aware that this has been a pretty interesting, very choppy, and for many people, very difficult market to trade. So in a environment like that, we're going to be scaling out at two different levels. It is a way to lock in available profits and to secure that if it doesn't reach its final target, we at least earn the profits on the first target. So I scale out the entry. We use a 3-pip entry on the continuation breakout trade. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can join the chat room. I talk all about it. I explain exactly what that continuation breakout trade is, how I created it, and how I get into the trade. Because the signal candle itself, when it closes below that support, that is not my entry. I have to wait for a 3-pip entry to develop afterwards. That way I know I have additional confirmation that price is likely to move in the direction of the breakout. That's why I wait for that 3-pip entry. So after getting in with the 3-pip entry, once it reaches the first 20-pip target from the entry, I then, and throughout that time, I mean, usually on a trade like this, if it reaches its target, especially the first target, within the first 30 minutes to an hour, I'm leaving the microphone open for the most part. And I'm getting a lot of questions during that time. And then as it's approaching that first target, I tell everybody, all right, I'm locking in profits here. I recommend everybody else do the same thing. It's hit its first target at one point, and then I give the number. And then at that point, only when it's hit its first target, then we set the open half, the remaining portion of the trade, whether it's another lot or wherever you live, if you can scale out of the trades, the we set the second half of the trade at a break-even stop loss. So that's how we secure and preserve profits, because there's still some profitability in these trades. It's just that in this market environment, it's possible that we would get a statement or a comment or a tweet. We talk about that all the time in the chat room, how jittery and how jumpy the market is to tweets, and it's really the whole thing has been so exaggerated. It kind of puts a smile on my face, because it's something that will probably fade away a little bit. And I'm not saying that the market's going to ignore tweets. The market's going to be digging for as much information as they can constantly source out. That's usually what traders are going to be doing. But what I'm getting at is the people that are inexperienced in regards to how to take that tweet and analyze it and understand the effects, and then to confirm what they see on the charts. That's going to eventually be easier and easier for people that are new to trading off of tweets or information like that on a moment-by-moment basis, where the market's reacting to rumors and statements, regardless if it's on Twitter or not. It's just Twitter's a lot easier for these people to post, what their thoughts are and their comments. Specifically Donald Trump. I mean, he's notorious for doing it. He's been doing it for a long time. So this was a reversal here with Angela Merkel comment. So again, it hit its first target, but it didn't hit its second target. So we locked in profits here and earned 20 pips on this trade. So if you hold on too long, obviously you're going to get stopped out. That was the original stop. Now, when the market returns to a more normal price structure, we're not, the market's not as jumpy when they see tweets. We have some clear, a clear defined understanding of our interest rate policies here in the United States and abroad in different countries, Eurozone. If we get a little more clarity once we get past a certain level with Brexit, then things are going to start returning to a little more normal. I'm not saying that we're not going to have these, occasional events that might throw the market off, but certainly not like what we're experiencing now. There's a lot of things all coming together at the same time. So when it returns to more normal conditions, the breakout, what causes the breakout is usually economic data. And economic data is a lot easier to trade. I actually trade economic data. I trade the news in the chat room. So I explain my analysis. We're looking at the information and then looking for technical clues. And obviously, if it's going to be, pound weakness, if we're looking at the pound dollar strength on a economic announcement, the first thing is that I don't need to jump into the trade as soon as the numbers are released on an economic report. So if you're considering joining my chat room and you're wondering how I'm going to trade the news, I'm not going to scream out, buy now, as soon as I hear the news. That's a pretty dangerous strategy. You're going to win some, lose some. I've got many different stories of me trading in chat rooms back in 2001, 2002 with different people that traded the news, different people that were, just screaming out trades, and they were totally inexperienced traders. They didn't know how to dissect and analyze the news and the information and look for clues or confirmation or revisions and things like that. And they would make horrible mistakes and tell everybody in the chat room to either buy or sell just based on the numbers. They wouldn't look any deeper than that. They didn't even look at the report. They couldn't possibly scan that quick. And that's a really dangerous way to do it. There's no need to do it that way. It's very easy, or relatively easy. I don't mean any disrespect by saying easy, because I've been doing this since 2001. So I'll help you. I'll show you what it is that I'm doing. But in order to trade the news with me, you just simply wait for me to show you the setup, show you exactly when I'm getting in. I wait for candles to close, a 30-minute, a 1-hour candle to close. So if we get some economic announcement, let's say at 8:30 New York time, I'm going to be waiting until 9 o'clock when I know that that candle's officially closed and it gives me confirmation of something. It either spikes out of a range of consolidation and it comes back inside of consolidation, or it closes outside of the consolidation range because of the economic numbers, and then the market trades that trending move in the direction of the breakout. Whatever the case is, every scenario is different. I walk you through step by step exactly how I'm trading that. So today we just traded a few hours ago FOMC. It was for the most part really nothing to do here. I mean, now we're looking at the pound dollar. This is where it's been in the last few hours. I'll go back to the primary charts here. Go back to the live candle here on the euro dollar. Euro dollar, you get that little spike there, but it really doesn't do anything or go anywhere. Right now, though, for those of you in the chat room who are watching this update, this is my consolidation range. I have not made any adjustments to it yet. There haven't been any new recent spikes to the upside or to the downside. This, at this point, holds. Now, if you are a member, again, of the chat room, you know how I trade the continuation breakout trade and how I box in this range of consolidation. So if there is a spike, but it doesn't close above that resistance, and then it pulls back down inside of consolidation, I'm going to have to make adjustments to that high and then leave it alone once we get a confirmed high, and then wait again for the continuation breakout trade, that one particular 1 hour candle to close outside of that range. So if it holds right into Thursday and Friday and we don't really see anything, and then it goes into, you know, some of these comments out of Wyoming on Friday, that's Jackson Hole, sorry. Maybe that could give us an opportunity to trade some kind of a breakout. We're always looking for opportunities because we never really know for sure. FOMC is one of them in the past. And again, I've been operating my chat room since 2007. And in the past, we've had many, many opportunities with FOMC where we've earned well over 100 pips, getting continuation breakout trades on 2 or 3 currency pairs at the same time. We get into all 3 trades and they move relatively quickly to their expected target if the information is sufficient to cause the market to react to that expected reevaluation in a currency pair, whether it's, you know, too low, too high, based on the information that we get in that report or that announcement. So still, for the most part, nothing to do here on the euro dollar. Dollar yen, let's go to the dollar yen. Dollar yen is looking pretty interesting at this point. We're getting, and I was talking about this, you know, this sideways moving pattern. I talk about this quite a bit. Every time we look at it, it almost looks the same, just at a different level. It's either up here at the highs or up here at the lows. And again, these ranges are getting a little tighter each time. So when I see a bullish candle, I'm not going to sell it. When I see a bearish candle, when I see a bullish candle, I'm not going to buy it. When I see a bearish candle, I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to leave it alone at this point. I really don't have anything here as far as where is my low of consolidation. So I got the question today in the chat room, is this the low, or would you consider back over here at the beginning of the week of the low? So I would go with this week's low and then this week's high initially. But you can clearly see that outside of that range, if it did break, we're going to run into some support and resistance from last week. So ultimately, I would have to really step back and tighten up the charts, look at the overall big picture, whatever's going on here, and at that point, this is what I would consider the most obvious. You're looking at this, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, well, this guy's looking at like 140 pip, 160 pip range. You know, is he going to wait until it breaks out of that range? If I'm going to trade the strategy that I call the continuation breakout trade, then yes, I'm going to wait for price to 1 hour candle to close outside of either the high or the low that you see here, indicated with those 2 orange lines. That's my area of resistance and support. But if it creates a new low, a solidified low, and it's within the appropriate consolidation range, I might be able to get a sell continuation breakout trade, which would give me enough room before it runs into that support low to earn approximately 55 pips. That's the other thing that I'm taking into consideration, is where are my targets? And is support or resistance far enough away where I could expect price to hit that target without any interference? That's the one thing that we need to take into consideration. The other option, of course, is that price floats up here towards resistance, and then maybe on Thursday or Friday, with some of these comments, prints a sharp reversal, and then we get an opportunity to sell it. That would be like a Tech 1 trade, or maybe even a T2 pattern. I talk about these. These are strategies that I talk about in the chat room, and I teach these. I created these techniques. So again, my strategy, it's not the only strategy to trade Forex, but it is the one that I use, and it's the best one that I can share with you and teach you, because that is exactly what I do. So, you know, I don't talk about other trading strategies so much. If I just don't have any experience, it wouldn't be fair if I was to elaborate on some. I'm not going to sit there and say I know everything. I've been trading for 19 years, and I truly believe, and I'm of the mind that set that it's it's almost impossible, in my opinion, for someone to know everything about trading. For someone to say I've seen it all. I see some forex and trading, day trading, futures traders, whatever it is, the gurus, teachers, and they'll say, "Hey, follow me. I've seen it all. I've been around for 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. I've seen it all." I really don't see how we could all see it all. Things change all of the time. Things change. The world changes. It's a global economy now. It has been for a long time. We've got to accept that. There's so many different variables and so many different things. The patterns are the same. The reaction, for the most part, is the same. You in a new situation with a new, crisis. I am definitely monitoring to make sure that the market's reacting the way I would expect it to in a crisis situation, because there's only a few things that you can do there. But as far as the strategies and things like that, there's so many different ways. It's such a fantastic and wonderful opportunity to be a trader, with so much to learn and so many things changing, and always keeping on your toes. You're always reviewing and drilling on the basics. The chat room, I got to say, keeps me sharp. It's the one biggest advantage that I think I've provided for myself personally. I'm always getting questions, being asked questions, and reviewing everything that I do. So it has solidified my belief in everything that I trade, how I trade, and I can give that to you. I can pass that along to you if you're still struggling. So it's a really protected environment. There's not a lot of people in the chat room screaming out different trades. Everybody, for the most part, just waits for me to call my trades, and then they might share their own, techniques if they want, or if they want my opinion on some things. That certainly creates a brand new conversation all by itself, and I really appreciate that, because I like looking at how other people trade and what other people see and what other people think, and it gives me even more insight and more information. So it's not to say that my trading system is the only way. I'm not saying that at all. I just want you to know that if you're going to join the chat room, you don't need to worry. I've been in chat rooms before when I first started trading, and it seemed like everybody in the chat room had their own opinion about trades, and everybody was typing in trades, either buy or sell. And I started sitting back, like I was getting confused. I didn't know who I was supposed to follow. I didn't know what trades I was supposed to, and some of them would be conflicting trades. And I wondered if some of those people were in there just kind of messing with everybody's heads, knowing that they were, posting a sell when maybe the chat room moderator posted a buy, something to that effect. That's not how I run my chat room. I'm very protective of my chat room, the environment, and I make sure that you're always going to get this inside information. You're always going to be right there with me when you trade. The only thing that I want anybody considering the chat room to know is that this is very hands-on. There is no trade copier. There is no signal service, sent out messages, things like that. You really have to be in the chat room the entire time to get the maximum benefit of the trades that I call out. If you're not in the chat room and I call out a trade, of course you would miss the trade, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's life. That's the way it works. But you really need to be prepared. So look at the website. On the website, also on the checkout page, you're going to be able to see the actual hours that we're operating. Right now through the summer, we're on a limited schedule. We're just trading the New York session, but September 16th, we're switching back to both the London session and the New York session. So again, if you really want to get the best and the most out of a chat room like this, you need to know personally, excuse me, that 5 days out of the week you can trade with me during the London and New York session. If you can, this chat room is perfect for you. All right, thank you very much. Again, this is going to be the last update here. I will be posting this in the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and in the membership area, and sending it out through email. And again, for those of you who are not paid subscribers, please be aware that the videos that I post, they're going to be very often, if we have a trade, I'm going to talk about the trade afterwards. So it's not going to be a trade that you can go back after watching the video and take the trade. It's already done at that point. I'm just using it as a method to review for my chat room subscribers, so they can go back and review it if they missed it, or if they saw it, if they traded it, they can maybe download the video or whatever they want, and I go through the actual trades. And then just be aware that sometimes they're going to be delayed, and I can't post all of the videos all the time for free in the free area. The only time I make sure that I give it to everybody is on a timely basis is either through email or in the membership area for paid subscribers. All right, thank you very much. I hope you had a good trading day. I hope you were careful I know how tempting it is to, I was watching FOMC and I saw that spike and I thought, wow, I remember back in the day when I used to jump in the minute I saw a price tick in one direction, I thought, that's it. And I would just either hit the buy or sell, and I thought, let me see how fast I was. This was back in 2001, and I lost so much money doing that. And I hope you didn't do that. I hope none of you listening or watching these videos did anything like that, because it's not the way to go. There's better ways to trade the news, I promise, and I can teach you how to do that in the chat room.